Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Dr. Kurt Ahern. Just want to take a couple minutes this afternoon, go over a couple things in regards to some of the health challenges, struggles that your child may be going through today, whether it be ADHD, sensory processing disorder, anxiety, depression, or autism, one of the spectrum disorders. Essentially, I just want to break down the two parts of the nervous system and how when the nervous system becomes wired into one of these dominant states, the label or the diagnosis at some point oftentimes comes to the surface. The two parts of the nervous system that we're dealing with, guys, is what's referred to on the left here. You see the brake pedal, also what is known as the parasympathetic side of the nervous system. This is responsible for things such as growth, healing, and development for your child. In addition, it's responsible for rest, relaxation, proper digestion, and proper immune function. This is the parasympathetic side of the nervous system. Now, as children, where do you think they need to be spending the majority of their time? Definitely, they need to be spending the majority of their time in this parasympathetic dominant state where growth, healing, development can all take place. This is what allows the child to continually develop and function, and true health can be expressed. The opposite side of the nervous system is what is referred to as the gas pedal, or the sympathetic side of the nervous system. This is really, guys, what's referred to as fight or flight. It's protective mode. It's a stress response. And all the cases that we see in the office, the children that are struggling with various health type issues, ADHD, sensory processing disorder, anxiety, etc., all of them have a sympathetic dominant stress response state that they've become wired into throughout their life. Now, how does it get there? That's really the question that we have to understand as well. And the three things that we look at are traumas to the spine, specifically the cervical spine, the head and the neck when these children are pulled from the birth canal by force, manual extraction, so to speak. In addition, vacuum and forceps extraction, as well as cesarean, are all forces that are sustained to these child's spine, ultimately then triggering a stress response within their nervous system, locking them down into this sympathetic fight or flight dominant state. This is the neurology behind these types of diagnoses and labels. The second trigger or ingredient that puts the individual, the child, into a stress gas pedal mode is the toxins. These are the medications, the chemical stresses, the antibiotics, the drugs. All these things over time compound, again, further driving the child into a sympathetic stress dominant state. In addition, the third ingredient here, we talk about thoughts or emotional stresses. These are things that these kids are going through at home, at school, in life in general. All these things also trigger a stress response nervous system state. Now, again, we talked about where do we want these kids to be? Do we want them to be primarily in sympathetic stress mode day in and day out, or do we want them to be more in the parasympathetic growth, healing, and development mode? And I think you guys would agree that we want these kids to be spending the majority of their time in parasympathetic function. Again, the problem is that they're not. They're locked in sympathetic dominant state, and the label and the diagnosis, regardless of what you call it, has that in common. So it doesn't matter if your child is on medication, if they're not on medication, or you're looking to have them put on medication. It doesn't matter what you call it. It doesn't matter if it's ADHD, anxiety, depression, anxiety, autism. It doesn't really matter in the sense that all of these kids have a nervous system that is predominantly sympathetic stress. And they're stuck there. They're wired there. They've been locked in there for so long. That's all their nervous system knows. So two other things we'll briefly touch on in terms of health, and that's digestive issues and immune system function. See, the primary diagnosis below, oftentimes, as you parents are aware of, accompanies several secondary symptoms, but the two main ones that we see time and time again are digestive issues, whether it be constipation, abdominal pain, abdominal cramping, bloating, irregularities in digestion, or immune system issues, weakened immune systems, colds, flus, sinus issues, chronic ear infections, mitochondrial disorders, severe immune function, cancer. These are all immune system issues. Keep in mind, you can't be in both growth and development mode and protective mode at the same time. So if the child's nervous system has been chronically wired for sympathetic stress mode for their entire life, what part of the body is going to get affected? Digestion is going to be affected. Digestion is going to be downregulated. It's going to be suppressed. gut motility is going to be slowed. We're going to get digestive issues, constipation, etc. In addition, if the child is constantly in gas pedal sympathetic dominant state stress mode, their immune system function is going to be compromised as well. And that's the reason these kids are chronically sick all the time too, with allergies and asthma and ear infections and sinus issues, because all their time is spent in a sympathetic stress response state, and as a result, immune function and digestive function get suppressed. So is it any wonder that they're sick all the time, in addition to primarily having the diagnosis of ADHD, autism, anxiety, etc.? The interesting thing here, guys, is if we know how to, or if we know where it came from and we know what part of the nervous system they're stuck in, we also know how to get them out of it, and that's where the chiropractic pediatric adjustment comes in. We're very capable of addressing the parasympathetic side of the nervous system, upregulating the growth, healing, and development centers of the body, improving digestive function, and upregulating immune function as well. That's why so many kids that come in with a primary diagnosis of anxiety or ADHD, sensory processing disorder, get great results, but also have amazing results if they struggle with digestive and immune system functions as well. Guys, hopefully this shed a little bit of light on what your child might be going through. There's a lot of different things that kids are struggling with these days. Hopefully this provides a little bit of information, a little bit more sense into the two parts of the nervous system, where we want the child to be spending the majority of their time, right, in the parasympathetic dominant state, as well as how to get them there. So again, if you have further questions, please let me know. Give us a call, 248-529-3947. Check us out online, ahernfamilychiro.com. If you have questions or concerns or like to talk a little bit more about your child's case history, we would love to sit down and chat with you. Get a hold of us and we can help point you in the right direction, give you some more information on how this all ties together and how chiropractic can be one of the biggest benefits for your child if they're struggling with any one of these health issues. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.